Alright, so many of you are going to hear a lot of rain in the background on this video, primarily because it's storming out here in Honolulu. I apologize in advance for that. Anyway, this is your boy Mekelkasanova, Hawaii's favorite YouTuber, coming at you back again, another video review. In this one, we're going to be doing a review for GEKIDO, Kintaro's Revenge for the Nintendo Switch. Now this is a remastered version of the original Game Boy Advance one. It came out about 16 years ago by Nap's team. Shout out to Nap's team for sending me a review code for this game so that I can go and be able to provide this for you guys. I did a Let's Play a couple days ago. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I think the game is phenomenal. And I'm kind of understanding a lot of reviewers, like a lot of YouTubers and game journalists have been reviewing the game, and I've seen a lot today. And it seems like a lot of them may not have a lot of experience with fighting game genre, you know, the beat 'em up genre. And so I'm gonna go ahead and get this review for you guys, and we're just gonna go ahead and get right into it, because as someone who's played nearly every beat 'em up ever made, I think the game's phenomenal. But let's go ahead and roll that intro music.
Next generation of great, I'm the next generation of great, I'm the next generation of great, the next generation of great.
So, how many of you all know about GEKIDO, or even the Game Boy Advance sequel, Kintaro's Revenge, featuring Tetsuo? I'll wait. I got time, so I'll wait. I mean, you do you? And you know, that's the thing that's a shame, because these are some of the greatest beat 'em ups ever made since Double Dragon, Final Fight, and Streets of Rage. It's been about 16 years since the original GEKIDO, Kintaro's Revenge, released on the Game Boy Advance, and Nap's team wanted to bring back this chapter in this classic franchise, and hopefully we get this series revived. Nap's team is the development studio responsible for the GEKIDO series, and this is the second title in the series. There was a fourth game in the works, as well as a third game as well, which was a remake of the first one for the Game Boy Advance, as well as GEKIDO The Dark Angel, which was being made for the PSP, however that was cancelled. Previous installments appeared on the Game Boy Advance, which is this one, and the canceled Game Boy original, as well as on the PlayStation. So on the PlayStation, they tried to bring the beat 'em up in action into the 3D realm. Think of Streets of Rage style, or, you know, Final Fight, which it worked fairly well for a lot of people. But then they chose to keep GEKIDO. Their artistic skills should put most other developers to shame. With rich hues, environments drawn in lush reds, greens, and blues, these are among the finest Neo Geo inspired graphics to date on Nintendo's hybrid handheld. Kintaro's Revenge is a beat 'em up like you've never seen before. It has a lot of adventure in it. Not everything consists of annihilating everything you see. And the game centers on the character Tetsuo and the strange goings-on occurring in a small village. Obviously, he will fight enemies, and he has quite a number of attacks to use. And I'm really impressed how far beyond the simple kick and punch that this game goes. These chapters are not linear. There's actually a point beyond bashing heads, and this isn't a minor point. The traditional problem with beat 'em ups is that they are basically a 20-second game or so, dragged out across an hour or two. Move a character to the left or right, pummel an assortment of comic book villains, then walk 5 steps, repeat, rinse and repeat, and that's the recipe for sheer boredom. GEKIDO plays out more like the classic River City Ransom, with its interconnecting buildings, rooms, streets, and pathways. When the game begins, Tetsuo, the young hero, visits a village, speaking to various people and gathering clues. He can talk to the villagers, explore areas, and acquire items to enter other areas such as keys or lanterns for dark locations. It's not as complex as it sounds, but it isn't all that simple either, particularly in a couple of the later chapters. The action harkens back to the Streets of Rage series, Final Fight, and the like. Yet GEKIDO is different. As well as the action, there is an adventure aspect to the game that makes it unlike any other. Keys must be found for doors. Lanterns must be found to go underground. The player must converse with townsfolk to find clues of where to go. The game couldn't be described as an RPG, but it does borrow certain elements. The button setup is fairly customizable. However, at the time of this review, the D-pad option or usage is not available for being able to move around. So that's, you're left with the left analog stick, but pretty soon Nap's team has confirmed that they're going to send an update which will allow you to use the D-pad. You'll have your punch, kick, jump, and dash buttons, as well as a screen clearing move by pressing punch, kick, and jump all at once. Enemies in the game only appear at set times, not including the ones that pop up out of the ground that are optional to defeat. If you clear an area, you are not required to defeat any enemies for a while unless an event triggers them to return. You can freely explore most places once you've wiped out the enemies. Note, I'm using the word explore very loosely here. This isn't Metroid or Castlevania I'm talking about, but more so in the terms of River City Ransom. The in-game sound, however, the soundtrack, it deserves an award for best in-game music since Streets of Rage in a classic 2D fighter style. The music is some of the best quality and most original sound of any system. It changes in style depending on the situation. From calm and tranquil in the villages and countryside, moody and full of suspense for dungeons and caves, to jazzy and fast and action scenes. It's hard to explain, but whoever was responsible deserves praise for both music design and getting it to sound so good. Now, some of the things you might be wondering that are added, or if this is just a straight port from the Game Boy Advance original, I'm here to tell you that it's not. Some of the things that were added to this remastered version of the game are 2-player co-op, added new soundtracks, new cutscenes, new video and audio options with the ability to play with old or new assets, survival mode, and a roguelike relic hunter mode. This game succeeds in nearly every way. It is challenging with great graphics, music, and gameplay. The control is very good, and it isn't a typical brawler. It really does add some depth to the genre. This video game genre never needs to go away. It just needs some fresh blood, and that's exactly what GEKIDO does in droves. I love this game, it's Casanova approved, and I'm hoping Nap's team, I'm praying that you guys give us the original GEKIDO remastered, and we continue the series on and exclusively on the Nintendo Switch. Alright, and with that being said, I want to wrap up this video. I want to thank Nap's team for sending me the review code for this game. I want to thank you guys for sticking through the review, coming through on the live stream of it. Phenomenal game, you can't go wrong with it. It's less than $20 and you can't go wrong. Plus, 2-player co-op. It's not a super linear game in a sense of just walk left or right and that's it. There's some thinking involved on it, and I think that's something that evolves the genre. So, that being said, thank you guys for watching. Subscribe if you haven't already. If you want to support the streams, I got the Streamlabs link down below, as well as my Patreon and PayPal. So if you want to follow and support the channel, if there's anything you guys want to see, let me know. Also, stay tuned for podcasts, because we're going to have 2 podcasts every single week of the Casanova podcast. And yeah, that's just about it. Thank you guys for watching. Shout out to Nap's team, and I'll catch y'all in the next one. Casanova approved for GEKIDO, Kintaro's Revenge. Definitely pick it up. Peace.
Spotlight, girl, you demand all the attention. Starry-eyed, maybe I need a new prescription. I see you on top of me, I'm having visions. While you spin it around, I'm getting dizzy, baby. Drop and roll.